going on, everyone? Welcome to your 24th tutorial in Python, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about something that's going to help you compare. It's a little different than last time, unlike operate. Just pay attention, you'll learn something. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is, besides the numbers, you can also compare strings of words. And when you compare these, they're compared in alphabetical order. So let's go ahead and write dog is less than cat. And as you can see, it comes out false because the word dog comes after cat in the alphabet and it's not less than. So that is going to come in handy later on, and it's a whole nother world when you can compare strings of text instead of just plain old numbers. And the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is something called an and an or. Now last time I told you guys, if you have an if statement right here and you want to check that decision, make another decision, you can write an if statement inside it, like right here. But there's an easier way to check if two conditions are true at once, and that's to use a keyword called and. And what and does is check if both conditions are met. So let me just show you guys real quick. Let's get an example variable, and I'll make it equal to the string. Actually, I might as well just make it equal to number 5. Now we have a variable example equal to number 5. So if you want to check if example is, let's put it, if example is less than 3, and then we say we want to check that, and in the last tutorial I showed you guys, if you want to check it again, just write if example is greater than 10, which I guess less than 3, greater than 10, that wouldn't make sense. So that was how you would do two decisions on the same variable. But let's go ahead and let me show you how to make or just make it compact, kinda. If example is greater than 3, so any number greater than 3, and example is less than 10, then we can print number is between 3 and 10. So that is how we can use two different tests in the same line of code, and this helps nesting if statements in certain cases. So this example will only print if this condition is met and this condition is met. If one of these tests fail, then this will never go. So let's go ahead and press enter, and it says number is between 3 and 10. So what if we had one of those test conditions that were false but one was true? So let's go ahead and write if example is greater than 3, which is true, and example is less than 4, which is false. Let me show you guys what would happen. Print x. As you can see, nothing prints, and this is because if only one test condition is true in the and, the piece of code doesn't get printed. Now let's say you wanted a way to not only have both test conditions have to be true for you to print, but only one of the test conditions had to be true in order to output the statement. So let's go ahead and do that, and you do this using, instead of and, you use the or keyword. So let's go ahead and write if example is greater than 3 or example is less than 4. Let's go ahead and print this works. So in the or keyword, unlike the and, only one of these has to be true for this to print right here, or this code to be executed. So let's go ahead and press enter, and it says this works. Now if both of these were false, just like the and, nothing would get printed. But what happens if you use an or and only one of them has to be true but both of them are true? Well, let's see. If I think I'm gonna sneeze soon. Oh Lordy, bless me, bless me. Anyways, back to basics. If example is greater than 3 or example is less than 10, which is true, and I used a semicolon instead of colon. So let's do that one more time. And that also teaches you guys, never use semicolons when you should use colons. If example is greater than 3 or example is less than 10, colon, what are we going to print? Print Hey now. So in this case, both of these test conditions are true, but we're using an OR statement where only one of them has to be true. So what's it do? It prints it out, hey now. And again, just to recap one last time, when you use an and, both the tests have to be true on either side for the code to execute. When you use a or, this one has to be true, this one has to be true, or both of them can be true, and then your code is executed. And in both cases, an and if either one of these are false, or an or if both of these are false, then it never gets executed. So that's your basics on I don't know, I guess they're called and or ors or something like that, and also comparing strings. So in the next tutorial I'm going to be going over loops, but learn this tutorial, learn how to use the and or, and also how to compare strings. Maybe you do these tests with strings or something. And once you got this down, the basics of this, you're ready to move on to the next tutorial. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I guess I'll see you then.